very good morning to everyone. Thanks for joining the webinar. I see a lot of attendees are still joining for the webinar, so we can give them for a couple of minutes. And yeah, we will start the webinar in another 2 to 3 minutes. Very good morning to everyone, and thanks for joining the webinar. So it's a pleasure to meet everyone through this webinar. Myself, Nagarajan. I'm working as a product manager in Vembu Technologies. So I'm taking care of the product release as well as the customer engagement team for the Vembu BDR Suite. Okay, so I still see a lot of attendees are joining. So guys, in between during the webinar, if you have any queries, you can just ask your question in the question box on the same GoToWebinar control panel. So yeah, let us begin the webinar. So I hope everyone can see my screen. Okay, so since I see a lot of newbies joining for the webinar, I thought of giving them an introduction about the Vembu Technologies. Vembu Technologies founded in year 2002, and it's headquartered in Chennai, which is in India. And we do have our branch office in US, United States. And we are having more than 10 plus years of experience in selling backup and disaster recovery software. And we are reached more than 60,000 plus businesses through 4,000 plus partners, and we do have customers around 100 plus countries. And we are providing 24/7 technical support and for all 365 days. Yeah, this is our company portfolio introduction. And okay, before we get into the webinar, I thought of discussing about some stats. Okay, so why do you why do you have to back up the data, your business data? Okay, so because right now you see there are a lot of ransomware and there are a lot of disasters occurring all over the world, and due to that they are losing the data, and because of that the business is completely interrupted. Okay, so see, when I came across those stats, I found that 2 out of 3 businesses are not backing up their data. Okay, so it's a very pathetic situation that say in case if anything happens to their data, what happens? That's all there. They have to shut down their business. So the data is very much important in order to run their business. And okay, so those who are actually backing up their data, what are they doing? Are they testing the data? Because the data gonna stay in the storage target for years and years. Let us assume that you are backing up data, and the data which is stored on the disk is corrupted. What happens while performing the recovery? You cannot see the data recovered. So again, there is another survey which actually showing that only 5% of the businesses are doing a monthly recovery test, DR plan test. Okay, and rest of them actually they're having once in a quarter or once in a year, or some 4% of the businesses are not even doing the disaster recovery. See, there are companies which are not even having a disaster backup software for backing up their data, and there are companies which implemented the backup software are not performing the DR test. Okay, so because you should have to know that the data which is stored in the storage location or a storage target, or it may be tape or disk, it should be recoverable. You should know that. So this is another situation I came across. And you see, what happens after the disaster? What happens after the data loss, or ransomware, whatever happens right now? So 60% of the companies are shutting down their business after 6 months of this disaster, because they cannot recover the data, important business critical data, and they lost their credibility, and due to that their business is going down, and because of that they're shutting down the business. And some 20% of the companies are losing up to $5 million because of the data loss. So prevention is better than cure. So you should have to implement a backup system in order to back up the data. So there are a lot of ways to backup data. So you can backup the data to just copy the important data and put it on a pen drive or a CD drive or any type of storage medium, and you can keep it the devices in your office, and you can just move the devices at your home or another location. Okay, there are multiple ways, but the backup software which will do everything for you, and it will do automatically. So again, let's say here we need to identify the reasons for the data loss. So why you are losing the data? So again, we thought of say there are ransomwares and there are disasters are actually the reason for the data loss. But again, only 3% of the data lost due to the natural disaster or ransomware. 97% of these happens because of the employees. Okay, those who do unknowingly deleted files, or they may the reason for the system crash or voice crash, or they may let the intruders just inject any script into their machine. So these are all the reasons for the data loss. So it's 97% employees, the IT admins or the system admins or the juniors. So they are all the reasons for this data loss. Okay, so here you need to know why Vembu BDR, why Vembu Technologies. Okay, so you see, when we talk about the data center, okay, we came across a lot of different environments. It may be completely virtualized data center where they may have a VMware or Hyper-V for the virtualization, or there may be a physical machine. There may be a data center only have physical machines. So when we talk about physical machines, so then you should have to make sure you may have multiple operating systems. So you may have workstations, you may have Windows, Linux, and Mac machines, and you see it's actually diversified. So there are a lot of data centers having only VMware, or there are certain data centers only having Hyper-V or physical machine. So Vembu BDR Suite is a one-stop backup solution which will provide a backup solution for pretty much all the environment. It may be VMware, or it may be Hyper-V, or it may be KVM or any other hypervisor, or it may be Windows, or it may be Linux Mac machine. So you can back up all those machines. And again, say when we saw that the disaster occurs and why the companies are actually not having a much system, not having a much DR plan in their system. Okay, what Vembu is actually offering in order to save all those in order to save the IT admins from those scenarios. Okay, so we will discuss it later, and before that, I thought of explaining about the product portfolio of Vembu. So Vembu BDR Suite consists of following products. Vembu VM backup for Hyper-V and VMware virtual machine backup. It's all completely agentless and an entire VM level backup. So you can perform complete VM level recovery, or you can perform individual file level recovery or application level recovery. And Vembu image backup will help you to back up the physical Windows servers, workstations, PCs, desktops, all Windows based machines. So it supports from Windows XP to Windows 10 and Windows 2003 to Windows 2016, all the Windows operating system. So you can back up the entire machine. And here is the beauty about Vembu BDR Suite. So though you are backing up a physical machine, during the recovery, you can instantly boot them as a VM on any hypervisor. It may be VMware or Hyper-V or KVM. So though you are backing up a physical machine, you can instantly boot them as a VM on for the instant recovery purpose, so that your business will not be down even for 5 minutes or 10 minutes. So you can just boot the backed up physical machine into VM within a few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. So apart from that, there is a network backup which will help you to back up individual files and folders and applications. It's a legacy backup solution. You can actually back up data to the local the cloud version of network backup. So if you want to back up the data directly to Vembu Cloud, so you can back up the data to Vembu Cloud without keeping any copy at local data center. So here you see The Vembu cloud is actually hosted in Amazon Web Services. So if anything happens to your local data center, you can download your data from any location, and you can just kickstart your business from anywhere. So the final SaaS backup, which will help you to back up the Office 365 and Google Apps. It's again a cloud-to-cloud backup, so you can back up Office 365 or Google Apps users, G Suite users to the Vembu cloud, so that during the disaster or during any scenario, you can just restore all those emails or data from Vembu cloud. And these are the hidden products. So Vembu Offsite DR will help you to replicate additional backup copy to your offsite location. Okay, it's more than a replication. It's not just a replication which will keep an identical copy in offsite location. It will help you to set up an entire DR site in a remote location. Say if your host site is down, you can just instantly up and running all those VMs, physical machine from your DR site, and you can still continue your business. So this is not just a replication software; it's a complete DR suite. And Vembu Cloud DR is again the cloud version of Vembu Offsite DR. If you do not have any data center for the DR purpose, you can just replicate your data to Cloud DR, and again the same option. So if anything happens to your source site, you can just convert all those backed up physical virtual machines into Amazon instance, or you can download the images to any other data center, and you can just run all those machines as a VM on VMware or Hyper-V or KVM. So BDR 360 will help you to monitor all your distributed deployments from one single console. So this console will help you to monitor the backup activities and to monitor the BDR Suite backup servers resource utilization from one single cloud console. You can just log in to the BDR 360 console from anywhere and monitor all the backup activities. The Vembu Universal Explorer will help you to restore individual application items. Say you may back up Exchange VM or a physical machine, any Exchange SQL or SharePoint or AD machines. If you would like to restore a single email from your VM, then you don't need to perform entire machine level recovery or VM level recovery. You can just use Vembu Universal Explorer to restore the individual items from that particular VM. And see, I just thought of discussing some major features with you. So it's like when we discuss about the features, so we are actually trying to address the use cases. So when we talk about backup software, it's directly impacting the recovery time. Okay, so how fast you can recover the data which you are backing up. So the recovery time objective RTO, we are promising less than 15 minutes of RTO. So you can instantly restore backed up physical and virtual machines into any hypervisor, VMware or KVM or Hyper-V as per your choice. And you can perform instant file level recovery, or you can perform instant application or item level recovery from the Microsoft application VMs. So the next use case, the recovery time objective. So how frequent you can run the incremental backup. Okay, see, after the full backup, so you can run the incremental backup every 15 minutes, which is near continuous data production, near CDP. And say while performing the incremental backup, we only track the changed blocks, and only the changed blocks will be backed up to the storage location, not the differential data. Yeah. So the incremental is very quick, very fast, and it's more efficient. So you can run the incremental every 15 minutes so that you can avoid the data loss after disaster. When you're just minimizing the incremental frequencies, you can avoid the data loss. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, the automatic backup verification. Say, as I told you, there are not every business having enough IT admins to perform the DR test. Disaster recovery plan or disaster recovery test by every week or every month. That is why, to avoid this, we developed automatic backup verification. So all the VMs, physical machines which are backed up will be automatically booted on the hypervisor, native hypervisor, and a screenshot will be taken and it will be sent to the IT administrator. So it happens every day. So every day you know that all the VMs, physical machines which you are backing up is recoverable. So if anything happens to the data, you can just investigate it, and if you are unable to resolve the issues, you can just contact the Vembu support. They will help you to resolve the issues. And storage. So when we talk about the backup software, you see, you cannot have a huge storage disk arrays to keep the years and years of data. That is why we developed our own file system, which is a pattern file system, Vembu Hive, the name of the file system. This file system has inbuilt encryption, compression, and deduplication. So another beauty of this file system is, it has inbuilt scale out repository concept. So we can just create one repository and assign one volume. So it may be local disk or SAN or NAS, whatever it is. So if it is got filled, we can just add another disk with the same repository. You don't need to move a backup data from one disk to another disk in order to continue the incremental. So the auto scale out repository is available, and again there is no restriction on the disk. So you can use many number of disks. So there are no restrictions at all. And again, this particular file system has in the deduplication. So and the compression, the day you see approximately more than 50% storage reduction for every full backup on the incremental, and it's completely safe. We use AES 256-bit encryption algorithm. Okay, see, this is another beauty of our file systems. As I told you, when you are backing up the physical machine or virtual machine by using Vembu BDR Suite, after completing the backup schedule for each and every VM physical machine which we are backing up, we create VHT, VMDK, and IMG image files virtually without using any additional space at all. So, which means for one single physical machine we are backing up or a virtual machine you are backing up, you see these three types of images. So if you want to migrate a physical machine into VMware, you can just copy the flat VMDK and put it on the ESXi data store, and you can just create a VM. That's all. It's very simple. The same way you can migrate the physical machine into VM Hyper-V by using the VHT or VHTX, or KVM by using the IMG file. By the way, we can migrate a VM from VMware to Hyper-V, Hyper-V to VMware, or even VM to physical machine. Okay, so we provide a recovery CD which will help you to perform bare metal recovery to a hardware. So you can just download a VHT file of the VM, and you can create a recovery CD by using our software, and then you can just use the recovery CD and the VHT file to flash all those data into a physical hardware. So by using our software, you can perform P2V and V2V and V2V. This is the architecture diagram. Okay, so you see the BDR backup server, it's a centralized server, and this server is a core which will help you to back up the data, and which will help you to associate a storage target, and this will communicate with the Vembu portal for licensing, and this will communicate with the Vembu BDR 360 for the monitoring purpose. So this is a centralized server which will help you to back up everything. And again, this server can be a Windows machine or Linux machine, or it may be a VM or physical machine. So based on your requirement, you can just choose a Linux machine or physical machine, or it may be a Windows physical machine, or Linux physical machine or VM. So it's about your requirement. And again, you can keep all the backed up physical and virtual machines data in your local target, and you can replicate additional copy either to your offsite data center or to Vembu Cloud. So you have multiple options available. And this is the requirement, OS requirement. So you can actually install Vembu BDR Suite on the server operating systems, Windows Server operating system 2008 R2 2012, 2012 R2 and 2016, also Windows 10. And on Linux, it will be Ubuntu 16.04, 14.04 and 12.04. And again, we only support 64-bit operating system, and again, say at least you have 8 GB memory. And say if you want to perform the virtual machine recovery on the same machine. So you can use a native Hyper-V. So if you go for Windows, you can use Hyper-V, or if you go for Linux, you can use KVM. So though you're backing up a VMware VM or Hyper-V VM, you can just instantly put it on KVM or Hyper-V. So our file system will take care of those conversions. And yeah, these are all other requirements. Okay, so if you have a Windows 10 with 8 GB memory, you are good to go with performing the backup of VMs and physical machines, everything from one single console. So we support multiple deployment scenarios. So either it may be on premises, or it may be keep a local copy at your data center, replicate additional copy to Vembu Cloud, or it may be additional copy replication to your own data center, or if you won't like to set up a remote office and branch office kind of setup where you synchronize the data between each offices. So if anything happens to your one site, you can just run your business from other site. And yeah, so there are multiple options available. So I thought of showing you the console, how it looks like and how it works with Vembu. So to begin with the installation, so just you need to pick up a machine. You need to just make sure you have a physical machine or virtual in order to evaluate Vembu. You just go to vembu.com and click on download, and from that location you can download the software. So once you install the software, you just click on the icon, icon which is available on the desktop, so that you can just log into the machine. Okay, so just double click on it, or you can use the Vembu BDR Suite console from any machine by using the IP address of the BDR server and the port 6060. So by using the credentials, by default the credentials are admin and admin. If you want to change the credentials, you can change it at any time. So you see, it's a very simple web-based user interface, and you can just go to management and storage management, but you can create a storage repository. So as I told you, either you can use a local disk, or you can use any network volume. It may be NAS or SAN, whatever it is. So you can actually add multiple storage targets on the same storage repository. At the same time, you can create multiple storage repositories, so that say you can keep one storage repository for one backup job and another storage repository for other backup job. So you have all those options. And backing up the virtual and the physical machines, it's very easy. You just click on backup and VMware. You see, you just add the ESXi and vCenter information. Once you add those information, all those VMs will be listed right away, just clicking on this backup button. You see, we use storage APIs from VMware, and this is completely agentless backup solution. You don't need to install any agent at all. So you select all those virtual machine, or you can select any specific virtual machine. So you have option to exclude any specific disk from any specific virtual machine or all the virtual machines. And say if you are actually having any applications running inside the VM like Exchange, SQL, SharePoint, and Active Directory, you need to enable this option, because this option will help you to check the consistency of the application. Also, it will help you to truncate the transaction logs. And say you can actually select how frequent do you want to run the incremental job. As I told you, it's only 3-bit incremental. Only the changed blocks alone will be backed up, not every modifications. Only those changed blocks in between the incrementals will be backed up. Okay, and again you can choose how frequent do you want to run the backup, and when do you want to run the backup, during the weekdays or weekend, and there are a lot of options. Okay, so you just do the backup configuration on one time, and you just forget about the frequencies, backup frequencies. It will help you to just run the incremental every 15 minutes automatically. It will kickstart the incremental job. And see, there are options to enable retention, or you can just disable this if you don't want to merge anything. What happens if you enable retention and if you want to keep last 7 days of recovery points? Say if you run the incremental every day, after the second day it will actually merge all those previous days of incremental into one recovery point, and after 7 days, the previous day's incremental will be merged. So it means at any time you can just see the last 7 days of recovery points. So while doing those merge, we will eliminate the identical blocks, and we will only keep the unique blocks. So it's kind of deduplication at rest. So we will do the deduplication during the backup, and we will do the deduplication at rest after while performing this retention, so that the data, those storage will be eliminated, and you can see the storage is efficiently used. And say there is advanced retention available, or you can perform daily, weekly, monthly merge. So this will be like a grandfather, father, son kind of retention process. So if you enable these options, so you will have at end of the year, you can see last 1 days of unmerged incremental data, hourly incremental data. For past 1 week, it will be daily merged incremental data, and for past 1 month, that will be 3 weekly merged incremental data and 11 monthly merged incremental data. So without doing any additional full backup, it's kind of a forever incremental. You just do only one full backup, and rest of them everything are incremental. So without worrying about much storage, you can keep years and years of data on the storage types. And again, as I told you, either you can actually choose the default repository for the storage, or you can create a new repository, and you can have a specific target for this particular backup job. So that's all. So you see, it's very simple. So you're selecting the virtual machine and specifying how frequent do you want to run the backup job, and how many recovery points do you want to keep on the storage target. That's it. Save the job and run it. So this is very simple when comparing with our competitors. So in terms of performance, we are actually far better than the performance while performing the VMware and the Hyper-V backups. So it's all about VMware backup, and again, say for the Hyper-V backup, the same options. You can just add the host information. That's all, and you just click on backup. It will list out all the virtual machines. As I told you, again, it's all agentless backup. We will only inject an agent inside the host to track the changed blocks of those VMs, and again the same options. There is no difference at all. You can specify the frequencies, and you can specify the retention configuration, and that's all. It's very simple. You see, there is no difference at all. And again, for the physical machine, so this is another new feature added in version 3.8. Say for the physical machine, again, say you no need to go to each and every Windows server for the installation. Okay, all you need to do is you just enter the host name of the Windows server. Say from Windows 2003 to Windows 2016, you just enter the host information. What we do is we will inject an agent inside this particular physical machine, and then that's all. Okay, you just click on this backup button. You see, from this single console, you are backing up a physical machine. You just select the disk, volumes, or entire machine, and then everything else is same. They specify the application, our configuration, and specify the frequency, how frequent do you want to run the backup job. But again, it's a changed block tracking. Okay, so only the changed blocks alone will be backed up, not the differential. And the same retention configuration, and you can specify the storage target. That's all. You see, it's not about the environment. It may be a VMware, it may be Hyper-V VM, or it may be physical machine. You can back up all those data from single console. Okay, and again, what about the recovery? Again, it's very simple. You see, it may be any backup. It may be VMware VM, or it may be a physical machine, or it may be Hyper-V. You will see all those recovery points. Okay, quick VM recovery, direct recovery to ES6i host, file level recovery, and disk level recovery, and download format. You see, respective of the backup type, either you can download it as a VHT, VMDK, VHTX, and the flat VMDK. Let me show you quick VM recovery. Quick VM recovery is nothing but instant recovery on Hyper-V. Okay, I installed this BDR backup server on Windows 2012 R2 machine, where I enabled Hyper-V role, and this is a VM I backed up by using the VMware. Okay, it's a VM from VMware, and just click on next. You see, I have two options. Either I can instantly boot it on the VMware, or I can instantly boot it on the Hyper-V. And I need to select the RAM specifications, and that's all. So just click on restore. So which will immediately create a VM. You see, there is a VM right away created in front of you, and that's all. Okay, so which will start, and which will you can actually start working on it right away. So what we do is once we instantly create a VM, again the data is still compressed, encrypted, and deduplicated. It is actually not a kind of a recovery. Okay, it's kind of a instant boot by reading the data which is still compressed and encrypted and deduplicated. That's all. So once you instantly boot it, you can just log into the machine and you can start working on it. So whatever modifications you are doing, which will be again stored, backed up by our software, and the data will be stored on the storage location. So when you try to perform the permanent recovery, that will be included. Okay, those modifications after instant boot will be also included with the data, and you can just restore the data directly to a physical machine, or back to the same VMware ESXi host, or to a Hyper-V host. Okay, so various options are available. So that's all. And again, say in case if you would like to perform an individual file, not an entire machine, okay, you can just click on this file level recovery option, and you need to specify which recovery point do you want to fall back, because say you may create a file on 30 2 hours and later on you would like to restore them, so you can just select that specific recovery point and you can just click on restore. So you see it will be like an explorer, so you can just explore the C drive or D drive. You can select entire folder, or you can select individual file belongs to that particular folder, and you can perform the recovery. You can just restore it to the storage target. That's all. So it's very simple. And in terms of report, you can see immediate report for every backup job. You see whether it is successful or failed, or what happened to that particular backup job. And if you want to see any specific information, we can see this from the reports. And there is an image verification report available. So this is what I'm talking about. So every day it will be kind of a verification process for a backup job. The backup may be physical machine or virtual machine backup. You can check the recoverability of that particular VM. You see, this VM is booted successfully, which means this is a physical machine. It's not a VM. It's a physical machine. So you know that this particular physical machine backup is recoverable at any time. And you can check when the recovery test was done at last, and you can you know that. So it is actually recoverable till 30th of July. So every day it will be done. This BDR Suite will do the recovery test, and a screenshot will be available, and it will be emailed to the admins. Okay, you can actually specify the email notification after completing each and every backup schedule, or after backup failed or integrity report, anything. If you want to email them to a specific email ID, you can actually set up this configuration. And yeah, that's all. Apart from that, say if you want to replicate additional copy to your own data center, then you can specify it, or to Vembu Cloud, you can specify it from here. So you see, from one single console, one single software, you can back up all the data of from VMware virtual, starting from VMware virtual machine to Hyper-V to physical machine to any VM belongs to any hypervisor. And again, it may be a Linux machine, or it may be a Windows machine. You can back up them. And again, so you can find the agents for all those installers. Say in case if you would like to install agents on hundreds of workstations, okay, you can download this MSI installer, and you can use your AD to push all those installers, and it will install the software on all those machines. Once the installation got completed, you can just go to the backup and Microsoft Windows and just enter the IP address of all those machines over here with the credentials, and you can see all those machines are listed right away. You can just click on backup button and you can configure the backup job. So it's kind of a single one-stop solution. And again, to back up the Linux machines and Mac machines, you need to download the agents. You see, the agent, there will be a listed supported versions, so which will support the v8.0 and above, and CentOS 5.x and Red Hat Linux 5.x and above. And for Mac, it is supported from 10.5 and above. So you see, you just download the agent and you need to install the agent on all those Linux and Mac machines separately in order to back up those machines. So that's all. Again, as in terms of pricing, see, Vembu is offering both a free version as well as the paid version. Say, yeah, what about the free version? So you can back up unlimited virtual machines or unlimited physical machines or workstations completely at free of cost. Okay, without paying any money. And again, see, there is some feature restrictions, so you can check all those information in our website, the comparison. And again, say from version 3.8 onwards, you can back up to 3 virtual machines completely free of cost with unlimited features. There is no limitation at all. After 3 virtual machines, it will be limited backup. If you want to use all the features available with Vembu, you just pay $360 per year per CPU socket, and you can back up unlimited virtual machines. And you will get the 24/7 support and unlimited product upgrades and updates, which is included with the subscription license. Okay, that's all from my side. And guys, thanks for joining for the call and webinar. I see there are a lot of questions coming up. So what I will do is I will just leave the session for another couple of minutes, so that you can actually ask your question. So our team will respond to you right away. Or if you are not getting any response, so you will get an email from Vembu, and you will get all those, your queries will be addressed. And thanks for your time. Once again, thanks for joining the webinar. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.